Hey guys, it's Keith with the Wednesday Night Crit, and today's a good day. The wind is not blowing obnoxiously hard, so it should be a real nice race. I get things started off on the front. I kind of pull away just as we start, but everyone catches up with me by the first turn. But I spend the first several laps not able to get off the front. And I tried stuff like completely backing off the gas, and people still didn't take it. So a few laps in, I decided maybe I'll just attack from the front and at least wake people up and kind of string the race out a bit. So we go through that turn and I launch a little attack, and you can see people are still there. You know, I wouldn't say that I dropped anybody, but the field definitely strings out. And I think people sort of, the ones who are interested in following attacks start moving up to the front as this happens. Kind of wakes up the race a little bit. And so a couple laps later, Gabe goes. This is the first attack, and since I've been on the front the entire time here, I'm not going to chase it, but no one else behind me wants to chase it either. So it's early. We can let him get away for a little bit until we decide what we want to do, and that's fine. But I'm still waiting for someone else to step forward and do some chasing. And so we're sitting in this headwind area, and I figure maybe if I just sort of pull off to the side, you know, people will take the hint. So I pull off, and John over there decides that he's going to go for it. And of course, Mario behind me is not going to chase that because that's a teammate for him. And so now two people are going up the road, and I'm still in the front, and I'm not going to chase it, you know, just as a matter of principle. So I swing wide on this turn, and finally some people get the hint and start rolling forward. And so I get to drift back and spend a few laps at the back recovering while everyone else does the chasing. After several laps with the group all together and nothing besides just little small mini attacks, John's kind of rolled off the front, and Mario uses that little bit of space to launch an attack and try and get away from everybody else. And so I follow him, which instantly gets us away from a lot of the group behind us. But they're a little bit slow on the chase. And so as I'm tracking down Mario, I look behind us and see that we are getting a fair amount of space between the rest of the pack, and this might be our chance to get a breakaway established. But Mario's starting to kind of let up, and so I don't want to just fall behind him and sit on his wheel. So I roll around past him and keep the pace nice and hard, and I think he looks behind and sees that we've got some ability to get away. You know, we've strung it down. There's maybe 5 people close by. And so pull through into this headwind here. I think, yeah, Mario's right on my wheel, John's behind him, Jose's behind him, and then it's a few wheels back to one of the United guys. But so just trying to keep a real hard pace. I figure if I can get a good lap's worth of pulling done, you know, some people will give up and we can get ourselves a nice small, manageable sized breakaway. So I've been pulling for quite a while. I'm ready to have someone else start doing the work. And so we get through this turn, and I try and get Mario to come up and pull, which he does. But I can't get John to go up on his wheel, and so I have to slot in as the second wheel. And almost as soon as Mario gets on the front, he flicks his elbow to have me come through. And I tell him, no way, man, I'm still tired. And John's too busy playing with the camera to come through. So Mario's starting to back off. John's not pulling through, and so I tell John, you better work. You know, we've got 4 people here, and this is a really important time in getting the breakaway established. Like, if we don't all work together, that hesitation's enough to just sink the whole thing. So I set off for another pull, which apparently John and Jose didn't want to follow. He kind of waved bye-bye, and so they drift back. And so now it's basically just me and Mario. We're going to keep going on, leave the 2 of them behind. I think they'll go back to the rest of the pack. But Mario and I get a good rotation established and spend quite a few laps, just the 2 of us out in a lead breakaway. And just a couple laps into our break, they're ringing the bell for a preem lap, and I decide I'm going to go ahead and go for it. So we turn that corner, I jump away from Mario and try and head after it, and do manage to cross the line first to get some honey stingers, a nice little preem win. Now, after several laps of working together, we're starting to lap the field, and so Mario uses this as an opportunity to try and attack me, and it's late enough in the race where this is, you know, time to be friends is over. But so he's got like 3 teammates in that group, and he's yelling at them to pick up the pace, and so he's flying through, and he's getting the draft of like 4 separate people who have all picked up the pace as he's moving through. And I just kind of don't take the bait. I'm not sure exactly why, but luckily this car somehow got onto the course, which I think messed up their line through that turn, and gave me a chance to gain a lot of ground on them and finally catch up. So I catch up with that group, catch up with Mario and all of his teammates, and just sit on his wheel and glare at him. But so then in the laps that follow after that, it's just attack after attack, and I'm just kind of following Mario's wheel, not really trying to counter anything, but just making sure that I mark every move he makes. So Jose's up the road there. I think he's trying to use him for some draft and head away, but I just stick to that wheel as closely as I can. I think this one here is just a preem sprint, and this late in the race, preems are not really what I'm after, but I don't want to let him just get away for free and hope that he'll come back. So Mario just keeps launching attacks, and I just keep following his wheel. I don't want to put out too much energy, but I don't want to let him get away. And then a little bit later, we end up meeting up with one of his lap teammates, and they really stuck together, which I don't like, and so I decide I'm going to attack around them. And I think Mario was a little disappointed that John didn't do the work to try and follow my move here. But so we get rid of John, which is good. It's back to just being the two of us, kind of keeps the options minimal. But I'm going to try a double attack here. So I just attacked around John, and then as soon as we cross this turn into the headwind, I'm going to attack again and try a nice long drag into the headwind and see if I can get any space from that. And it doesn't end up really working in terms of dropping Mario or anything, but it is a good attack that he had to respond to instead of me being reactive. So kind of turns the tables a little bit late in the race. But after that, with me being tired, Mario just kind of rode me off of his wheel. And John, who we had just lapped, decides that he wants to kind of use us to get away from Jose, who he was with. And so he offers to kind of pull me back. But I'm super pooped, and I'm kind of getting in my head that, I'm done, second's fine, whatever, the race is over. So I end up really not even catching John's wheel until about this point when John's already caught Mario. So Mario had kind of eased up, and he turns over to John and says, hey, stay out of the sprint. He's lapped. You don't want to be involved in a sprint that you're not in contention really for. But I end up being in a really good spot for this because I'm right behind Mario. He's been pulling himself around for a while, and I will get a good chance to jump around him for the sprint. So we finish that turn. I'm a little late on the uptake for it, but go for it. And really, as soon as I sprint, Mario kind of sits up and doesn't follow me. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'll take it. So I crossed the line first for a nice, fun win in the A race. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.